That's why I quickly dressed up, and on my way to his place, I stopped by the candy shop. I bought a cake we both liked. To celebrate the second chance I was given, he opened the door, sleepy and half naked. Although it had just begun, the day already seemed promising.
I didn't expect you this early.
I'm glad you didn't. 'Cause it's not like you to open the door half-dressed. You look great.
You flatter me too much.
I've been a very bad girl, so I brought you something sweet. To make you fat, and thus less appealing to other girls.
No problem. Give me that. I'm starving.
Easy there, Tiger. First, you should congratulate me.
On what?
Why did you suddenly turn pale?
I'm trying to connect the dots. The candy and the good news.
I'm not pregnant, silly.
Huh, I panicked there for a moment. What is the good news then?
Tadaki informed me that my appeal had been granted. I will retake the entrance exam.
Bravo! Congrats! I'm so happy for you.
He tugged me tightly, stealing a cake from my hand. He removed the whipped cream from the top with his fingers, and then he tried to caress my hair. I jumped to the side so as to avoid him, but then he lost his balance and fell on the bed. The cake ended up on his naked chest.
Oops, I'm so clumsy.
No problem, sweetheart. I'll clean it up in my own way. First, I collected the pieces of the cake from his belly with my fingers, and I licked them up. I could see the thrill in his eyes, and it was clear he wanted me to continue. I put my hair up, inspecting his firm body with my tongue. Then I licked the cream off my lips and kissed him.
Am I delicious?
Very.
You can go on. But first, promise me that you won't be the only one whose appetite was satisfied today.
I would never deny you that pleasure, sweetheart.
Thanks, I like the attention. It's my turn to repay the favor. I'll make us breakfast. And then you'll promise me that you'll give your best to pass the exam.
Now I've got the motivation I needed. I won't disappoint you.
I'll have to stay away from you in the following days. I don't want to disturb your concentration.
You won't, don't worry. You're making me happy. And when a girl's happy, the whole world belongs to her.
You can do anything you set your mind to. Even to make the college administration question their decision. I'm so proud of you.
Thanks, but I'm not so proud of what I had to do in order to accomplish my goal.
What do you mean? You got me all puzzled now.
I told him all about what had happened between Tadaki and Akiko. I felt bad for hiding something like that from him. Of course, I told him that Akiko had an option to refuse to go out on a date with Tadaki.
Wow, I don't know what to say. I'm not an angel either, so I don't have the right to judge others, but that's blackmail.
Yeah.
I don't like what Tadaki did.
Akiko doesn't like it either.
That's even worse. She had to go out with a guy she didn't even like.
It's not like that. I know how the relationship developed when they knew nothing about each other. They clicked instantly.
I must admit they did. But no one is being their true self on the internet. She should have had that in mind.
Sometimes it turns out to be better, but everyone should get a chance to fix their mistakes. He knew what I was getting at, and he wouldn't comment on it further. We spent a couple of hours more together, and then I went home to study. The previous day, Akiko kept her promise and went out with Tadaki. She was discontent with his blackmail and she couldn't hide it.
How much longer do I have to stay with you? Until you satisfy your ego and decide to help out?
First, I'm not doing this to feed my ego. Second, she would have gotten a chance to take the entrance exam again anyway. The decision didn't depend on my vote. I lied in order to get a date with you.
Too bad I wasn't there to see it. As Akiko told me later, she stood in front of him, as short as she was, and jumped up to reach his cheek. It was funny and cute at the same time. Tadaki could surely anticipate that and stop her, but he nevertheless allowed her to vent her rage. He kept her hand on his cheek and kissed it. That calmed her temper.
Your hands are cold.
Let go of me!
Why are you trying to resist it, Akiko? I'm the same guy you used to chat with while half of the world was asleep. My poems were truthful.
Even now when I listen to you speak, you sound so poetic. But I will need more than that to believe you.
We have all the time in the world.
I don't plan to pamper with you and spend more time with you than necessary.
We don't have to talk. We can walk, enjoy the surroundings. I can smell your perfume and daydream.
You're a hopeless romantic. Too bad romance is not my thing. I was just pretending that I liked it when we chatted.
There, you had a secret too. Unconsciously, you wanted to open up your heart, no matter how hard you tried to remain cold. That can't be forced.
I ended up hurt every time I opened my heart to someone. I'd rather stay the way I am.
I can help you feel again, Akiko. I get you.
I have to go.
Akiko left Tadaki by himself. He watched her leave, knowing that he had said the right thing. Akiko felt a rush of emotions, which scared the hell out of her. We all go through something like that in our lives. However, when we allow ourselves to be overwhelmed by those feelings, we realize that we would wither without them. Katsume knew well how to cover his tracks, and that was why he always worked alone. Except for that night when Mitsuki helped him out by giving him admin privileges. That left traces in the system. Mr. Oshiro, Goro Oshiro, noticed the following day some suspicious activity and login after work hours. Having finished watching the camera footage of the office, he furiously banged his fists on the desk. Mizuki was a diligent, talented, and obedient girl. It was hard to find fault with her, let alone hate her. It was even harder for her father to accept the fact that she had disobeyed him.
Yes, Daddy?
Mizuki, lucky you I had to go on a business trip, or else you would feel my wrath.
Dad, I don't know what I did wrong.
Of course you don't. If there was something in that little head of yours, you would have what to think with. What were you doing at the office out of work hours?
I don't remember. It must have been easier to study there. It's pretty calm in the afternoon. It helps me concentrate better.
I wouldn't say it's just that. You brought your boyfriend? Since when is that smartass Katsumi your boyfriend?
No, Daddy! We're not dating! I don't have a boyfriend. Boys are the last thing on my mind.
Cameras captured everything. The minute he smiled at you, you gave him the administrator password. That created a serious security breach. Are you even aware of what you had done?
But he told me he got an order from you, and that you would punish him if he didn't finish the job. I just wanted to help him.
To help that punk? Is that the way I raised you, Mizuki?
I didn't have a bad intention, Dad.
Katsumi will be fired and forbidden entrance to all ChatLinx premises. And you, Mizuki, can't find yourself in his company ever.
As if I have hung out with him till now. I'm not even allowed to chat with my friends or to use ChatLinx. Everything is forbidden to me. I've never disobeyed your orders before. And you still don't trust me.
Goro Oshiro liked it when he had the last word. Without any discussion about what must be done next, he gave Mizuki an order and hung up. She hoped that he had at least heard a small part of something that had been bothering her for a long time. But she never said it out of respect for her father. At that moment, she decided to stand up for herself, because she couldn't let him treat her like a child anymore. She knew how to make the difference between good and bad. With that attitude, Mizuki slowly started to open up to the world.
I can't let my father control me my whole life, as if I have never done anything well. I'll take this risk and warn Katsumi.
The next couple of days were calm. Too calm. Katsumi expected at least some drama, because he made a mess with the virus he attached to the ChatLinx. His blackmailers had surely opened those files by then, but since the sea was calm, he assumed that hadn't happened. That is, he assumed nobody had fallen into his trap yet. After enrolling in college, Rokuro started preparing for his first exam, and he was boring all of us with legal terms. Akiko survived her date with Tadaki, but she didn't want to tell me anything about it. The morning before the entrance exam.
You're right on time. Good luck today.
Hi, and thanks. Will you be in the classroom during the exam?
No, 'cause that'd be a conflict of interests. Since I stood up for you, it wouldn't be okay for me to supervise your exam.
Right, silly me for asking something like that.
Don't sweat about it. How could you possibly know something if you don't ask? You still have 10 minutes before the exam. Would you like me to stay with you?
It's not your duty to stay with me. I'll go to the classroom to psych myself up.
Yes, that's a good idea. Okay, then. I won't bother you anymore. I almost forgot. I brought you a lucky charm.
Tadaki pulled out a cat figurine from his pocket. One of the cat's paws was raised as if it was waving. The cat was known in the Japanese culture as Maneki Neko, and people believed it brought good luck. I couldn't even dream I'd get a present from Tadaki. I believed he wanted to make up for using his position to go out with Akiko. Thanks, you shouldn't have. You surprised me.
You're welcome. Go now. Don't be late again.
I'm going. See you around.
See you.
A few hours later, the exam was over. I got out of the classroom with a huge smile on my face, because I knew the answer to every question on the exam. The only thing left was to wait for the results. Akiko, Rokuro, and Katsumi were waiting for me in the hallway. Hi guys! Are you waiting for me, or is this some casual meeting?
Of course we're waiting for you.
We were impatient to hear how the exam went. To tell you the truth, we picked up Akiko moments ago.
You picked me up? What am I? Trash to be...
Someone's pissed today.
She was born that way. Akiko, chill out a bit, at least today.
It's nice to have friends that support me in times like these. I don't need anything else right now. Akiko, there's something I need to tell you.
I know, and it's not important anymore. We can talk about it some other time.
You look optimistic. When will you know the results?
I wish I knew. If I run into Tadaki, I'll ask him.
When will I meet Tadaki?
I shrugged and looked at Akiko. She seemed completely indifferent, as if she had no idea who we were talking about. She expected we'd stop talking about Tadaki. Rokuro drew our attention to something.
Hey, there's Mizuki. She's sitting on the floor. She seems sad.
Is she crying?
Oh no. Can we go now?
We can't go just like that, without checking on Mizuki.
It looks like she really is crying. Katsumi, do you have anything to do with this?
Why am I always the one to be blamed for everything?
Once guilty, always guilty. You work with her. You're the one who is seeing her often. I doubt you didn't notice something was going on with her.
Akiko's right. That's why you have to go to her.
Come on, guys, don't mess with me. The last thing I need now is the students to see me comforting a crying...
While we were arguing about who'd go to Mizuki, somebody beat us to it.
Who's that guy going towards Mizuki?
It's Tadaki.
There! That has been taken care of.
I looked at Akiko to study the changes to her behavior. She was breathing faster, her eyes narrowed, and her jaw was clenched. Akiko is jealous of Mizuki. She likes Tadaki, but she doesn't want to admit. Tadaki knelt so Mizuki could see him. When she finally caught a glimpse of him, he tried to calm. He stroked her hair, and his hand stopped on her shoulder. Mizuki nodded and gave Tadaki her hand to help her get up. They went down the hallway together. Akiko was obviously jealous.
There, Mizuki found another victim. Katsumi, it seems to me you didn't give her enough attention. That's why she—
It has nothing to do with me.
Even better.
We'll ask her next time what upset her.
I need coffee.
I want a strong one too. We went to the nearby cafe and spent a few hours there talking. Meanwhile, I got an unexpected call from Tadaki. He called me to say that I passed the test, and that I officially became a freshman at the police academy. I shared the good news with my friends, and we made a toast to our dreams finally coming true. That same evening, Rokuro was sitting on the couch and chatting with us when he heard a noise coming from the room next to his. His dad, a famous lawyer, a man who had always been speaking loudly, was shouting at the top of his lungs, so hard that the framed pictures on the walls were shaking. Rokuro put his phone down and moved closer to the door to hear what was going on.
My father is talking to one of his clients. It seems that the case is stalling, or that my dad has to make a plea bargain. He always hated making plea bargains.
Rokuro couldn't hear the other side of the conversation, who started convincing the person on the other side of the line that his team of lawyers would do anything to prove the theft of data. During the conversation, he addressed his client several times with Mr. Oshiro.
Oshiro? Where have I heard that before?
Rokuro took his phone to look up Mr. Oshiro on the web when he remembered he read that name somewhere a few minutes ago.
Just a sec. She mentioned that name.
He scrolled through their group chat and saw the name he was looking for. His father was a legal counsel on the owner of ChatLinx, Mizuki's dad. Rokuro eavesdropped until the end of the conversation. He then called us for an emergency meeting. His dad wouldn't be at home, cause he'd be too busy coming up with a plan to make one kid's life miserable forever. Katsumi's.